Hey, Zane Griggs here. So, are you concerned that a high-fat, low-carb diet would increase your risk for heart disease? And it's understandable that you would, because that's been the message for 50 years or so. But recent studies have actually shown us that's not the case, and it's actually quite the opposite. So as far as cholesterol goes, that has changed as well over the last several years. They used to just look at total cholesterol. Then in the 80s, 90s, we started breaking it down into HDL and LDL, and one was supposed to be really bad, the other one really good. And that's still a partial truth. Even LDL really should be broken down into what's called VLDL, or very low density lipoprotein. And then there's the like a fluffier LDL. So it's a lighter, fluffier, really doesn't cause the problems with heart disease. It's the very low density lipoprotein that gets stuck in the crevices of the arteries and the glycated cholesterols, okay? So lipoprotein being the transporter of the cholesterol, okay? So the LDL, lipoprotein. There's a very particular type of LDL that's actually the dangerous one. And unless you're getting a test that's breaking that down for you so you can see that, you're not getting a full picture. So don't just look at total cholesterol. Looking at total cholesterol really tells you nothing. And LDL, looking at your LDL alone really isn't, that conclusive either, because there's different types. And you can have, there's healthier LDL that really helps with, brain function and all sorts of other, hormone production, coating our nerves. So that's not a full picture, and it's not the full picture we've been getting the last 50 years. So we do want, high ratios of HDL to our total cholesterol, but we want low VLDL, and that's the one that's really important. So you might have to ask for a special test to figure that out. But there was a recent study called the Predimed Study, okay, where they took 7,500 at-risk people at risk for heart disease, okay, and divided them into 3 groups. So this is how you do good science. You have a control group and a couple other test groups to see what's going on, but you have one group's doing what's typical and other groups changing, not just watching one whole type of diet. So they had 3 different groups eating differently. So 2 were high fat, and the high fat for one was they had them drink or just basically consume, whether it's on food or whatever, about 1 liter of olive oil every week. Now that sounds like quite a bit of fat, and it is, but 1 liter of olive oil every week to keep their fat up. And the other one was eating, they did it with nuts, okay, so they got their fat primarily from eating nuts on a regular basis. And this was generally a high-fat Mediterranean diet. Then the control group was eating a typical kind of low-fat diet, fairly healthy, but what would be considered healthy, with a variety of food, but a low-fat diet. And again, they're all at risk, all 7,500 at risk for heart disease. Well, they actually had to end the study early because the people on the high-fat diet risk, okay, of heart disease, their rates of heart disease were decreasing so quickly that it was deemed unethical to continue the experiment and continue feeding these at-risk people the low-fat diet, okay? So such dramatic improvements in their heart disease risk factors, okay, for the high fat, that to continue with the low fat and continue to keep them at risk with that low fat diet was considered unethical, and that's why they had to end the study. So that should tell you right there, things have changed. The message has changed because a little more truth has been revealed about the benefits of a high fat, low carb, okay? We don't want to put high fat, high carb together, okay? No ice cream, pizza, or donuts. Those are not your high fat sources, right? But high fat, low carbohydrate diet, okay, lots of veggies, as opposed to a low fat diet, is actually going to improve your risk, okay, or decrease your risk of heart disease, and of course, as we all know, weight gain and diabetes. So no need for concern, but look, definitely do your research and check out the Predimed Study, Predimed, okay. And for more on that, and there's actually, a lot more research than that out there, but that was a great one that was done fairly recently and was in the New England Journal of Medicine, I believe. So if you have any questions, feel free to post them or tag your friends who think need to hear this, and I'll talk to you later.